Hey yo, what's the deal? You know who it is. It's the Don. Cheer! Tony Teflon, House Teflon, Teflon 316. We pull the strings here on Teflon TV. What up, what up, what up, my people? And I'm back at you in this new year. And what up, what up? And I'm feeling good for this new year. You know, I think this is going to be the year to Don. I really do believe that. You know what I mean? So, it's getting off to a good start. Like I said previously, before, I had a project I was working on. It took a long time to come out, but it's definitely coming out in like a month or so. So I'm very excited about that. I'll let you all know about that. And I did promise to give away like 2 of my 300 subscriber a free copy. I still got your name. I'm still good with that. So don't think I forgot about that, because I haven't. So that's where we get down. Our house has grown. We 3,000, a little bit over 3,000. So to all my new subscribers, thank you, thank you, thank you for subscribing. Thank you for the people who have shared, stuck with me, doing everything, you know what I mean? And we gonna keep rolling, you know what I mean? We gonna keep building. We gonna try to take the throne, baby, you know what I mean? That's what we here for. So I got a little video going on right now we're gonna do, and as you can see in this title, this video is about Old Nan. Now, figure we start the new year off with Old Nan, because Old Nan is probably the oldest person. It's a new year. She's the oldest person in Westeros, but we know Melisandre most likely is the true oldest person out there. And the Don's name day is January the 8th, so same day as Ellis. So, you know, kings stick together. That's the way we roll. So we gonna get into this Old Nan, and there's a couple of interesting things about Old Nan I think people haven't really touched on a little bit, you know what I mean? So first we'll get into who Old Nan is and what I think her true purpose in this story is. What is she there for? Now, I believe a major person of interest in this story that is overlooked, as I said before, is Old Nan. Her stories that were supposed to be tales seem to be coming true, and there is a common link to these stories, and I believe most people have overlooked this. Now, before I get into that, let's look into Old Nan herself. Now, we get most of her background from Brand 4 chapter in the Game of Thrones, and it goes a little something like this. The old woman smiled at him toothlessly. My stories? No, my little lord, not mine. The stories are before me and after me, before you too. She was a very old, ugly woman, Bran thought spitefully, shrunken and wrinkled, almost blind, too weak to climb stairs, with only a few wisps of white hair left to cover a mottled pink scalp. One only really knew how old she was, but his father said she had been called Old Nan even when he was a boy. She was the oldest person in Winterfell, for certain, maybe the oldest person in the Seven Kingdoms. Nan had come to the castle as a wet nurse for Brandon Stark, whose mother had died during birthing him. He had been an older brother to Lord Rickard, Brandon's grandfather, or perhaps a younger brother, or a brother to Lord Rickon's father. Sometimes Old Nan told it one way, and sometimes another, but in all the stories, the little boy died at 3 of a summer chill, but Old Nan stayed on in Winterfell with her own children. So we see that Old Nan came to Winterfell as a wet nurse, but the kid died that she was caring for when he was 3 of the summer chill. So according to Bran, when she first got there, when I think Edwill Stark or William Stark basically ruled the North. Now, this could be the reason why she seems to have a distinct prejudice towards the wildlings. Now, maybe people have not picked up on that, but this does seem that she has a prejudice toward the wildling and the people and things beyond the wall. Now, I've heard people say that she was a wildling, and I can't see why people would think that if you see how much she really hates them. So it seems that people aren't sure what she is. It doesn't really say that what her last name would be. If you ask me, the Don, and from all the stuff I've read and everything, I'm gonna say that she's an Umber, and that may just be out of left field to some people, or right field, or whatever you think. But this is my reason why I believe that she's an Umber. Now, during that time is when the Starks fought the Battle of Long Lake versus the King Beyond the Wall, Raymond Redbeard. Now, the Lord Commander of the Night's Watch, Jas Muskrat, forever hereafter called Sleepy Jack, allowed Redbeard and his Reavers to get to atop the wall and throw down ladders to his men, who then scaled the wall. The wildling army then attacked the south, forcing William Stark to call his bannermen. The Umbers answered his call for attack. Now, William was slain and beheaded in the attack, and then avenged by his youngest brother Artos, who killed Raymond Redbeard and drove the wildlings back across the wall. The Red Raven, the younger brother of Raymond Redbeard, was the one who survived. So, if Nan was an Umber, she would hate the wildlings for killing William Stark. Why? Well, because William Stark's father was Oris Umber, who married Arena Stark, which is one of the reasons why I believe William called upon the Umbers to fight the Redbeard to begin with. Now, further proof that she hates the wildling, and it's because of this war why she hates the wildlings, can be found in John's chapter 4 of A Clash of Kings. Wildlings had invaded the realm before John had heard the tales of Old Nan and Master Luwing both, back at Winterfell. Raymond Redbeard led them south in the time of my grandfather's grandfather, and before him there was a king named Bael the Bard. The Umbers are also known as warriors, right? We know this for a fact that they're known as fierce warriors. And if you look at the rest of the story of Old Nan's kids, it seems that they were warriors too. Now, she had lost both her sons to the war when King Robert won the throne, and her grandson was killed on the walls of Pike during Balon Greyjaw's rebellion. Her daughters had long married and moved away. All that was left of her own blood was Hodor. So we see here that Old Nan must have been hot, because she was hit a couple of times, or maybe by the same one. But she had a couple of sons and some daughters, right? So she couldn't have been that ugly. It shows how old she must really be. So she was giving it up. Someone was loving that for a little bit, and more than a little bit. They'd keep blowing it up in her. All right, so besides that, you see her kids killed in war. All of them warriors, and all get killed in war, which is another reason why I believe that she's an Umber. So we know from that her only blood relative alive is Hodor. Now, I've heard it said that Hodor is a giant, or might have giant's blood in him. So let's fully explain this. If he's related to Old Nan, then for him to be a full giant would mean that she would have to be a giant. And I don't think that Old Nan is a giant. Not from anything I've read, I don't see that she's a giant. So, the only way for this giant story to work is if Hodor is half giant, or, something like that. So let's also note, real quick, that the sigil for House Umber is a roaring brown-haired giant wearing a skin with broken chains on a red flame. All right? And it's also known that a female cousin of Umbers were carried off by wildlings on a couple of raids. Now, further reason I believe Old Nan is an Umber, and so is Hodor. The reason I don't think Hodor is a giant from the beyond the wall is for this. She basically hates the giants beyond the wall. She calls them savages, and she does not like them. She has a prejudice against them that is known. And we know this from John, when he thinks back on, when he meets One. He says, John says this, One was very little like the giants in Old Nan's tales. Those huge savage creatures who mixed blood in their morning porridge and devoured whole bulls' hair and hides and horns. So if she believes these giants to do things and knew Hodor was one of them, I don't think she would talk about them like that. You know what I mean? So, because that's her blood. So I do think Hodor is a giant, but I think he's a giant from Umbers, an Umberline giant, not a beyond the wall type of giant. You know what I mean? So his sigil is that of the giant. It's making him a giant from the House of Umber, but not from beyond the wall. That is my take on Old Nan's, who she is, her parentage, her blood right, and Hodor's. Now, I will get to what I believe her true importance is in this stories. And I believe that her importance in the stories is the stories that she tells. Now, she has told many of them, and all seem to come true. But, as I said to you before, there is a common link that I don't think many people have caught. But me being the Don, I got it. And that is, and I will not keep you waiting in suspense, that is, if you look at all the stories, they all lead back to the Night Fort. Now, she has a couple of stories about the last hero and everything, but let's go through most of them, and I'll prove my point. First story, the Rat Cook. According to the legend, the man who will be later known as the Rat King Cook was a simple cook at the Night Fort. He became infamous when he served an Andal king, identified either as King Tywell II of the Rock or King Oswald I of the Vale, a pie that was made of bacon and unknown to the king's son. The cook killed the prince in revenge for the cook killed the prince in revenge for a wrong the king supposedly did to him. The king was unaware of this. However, he ate and praised the taste and asked for a second piece. The gods, angry because the cook had slain a guest beneath his roof, cursed the cook, transforming him into a massive rat who was doomed and unable to eat anything but his own young. According to the story, the rat cook is an enormous white rat, and all other rats that inhabit the Night Fort are his descendants. So the first story we have here is of the rat cook. The story takes place, as I said, the Night Fort. Next story, the Mad Axe. Now, Mad Axe was a member of the Night's Watch, and he is famous for murdering his fellow brothers at the Night Fort. And he had a red beard. So now we have another guy who was a Night's Watchman who killed his own brothers. And where did he kill them at? Killed them in the Night Fort. The next story, Simon Star Eyes. According to legend, Simon was a knight who lost both of his eyes and replaced them by putting star sapphires in his empty sockets, or so the singers claim. He fought with a long staff with blades on both ends, and he would spin it in his hands, chopping down 2 men at once. He once visited the Night Fort, where he saw the hellhounds fighting. Now, to me, we got to take a little bit of this story as legend. But if we take the legend out of it, and it seems to me that this person, Simon, was changed into a White Walker. Hence is the reason why they say his eyes look like sapphires. And that is what I believe. And he had some sick-ass move, looked like some type of Darth Maul type weaponry, he must be saying. But this is another person of a story that Old Nan told. And this story happens at the Night Fort. Now, I'm going to give you another story that Old Nan has told. And I believe that this will also end up at the Night Fort eventually too. And the last story I'll say, and this is one that's not much talked about, but I'm telling you, listen to the Don. Because I'm telling you, a lot of these people, these other channels or whatever, they may say things or whatever, but the Don is going to be right in the end. So listen to me when I tell you this. All right? The last story, and I believe you me, this will be a huge role in the books before it is all done, is the Ice Dragon. Now, an ice dragon is a legendary species of dragons. They are said to roam the shivering sea and the white wastes, as far larger than regular dragons of Valyria, said to be made of living ice, with eyes pale as blue crystal, vast translucent wings, and breath of cold. Now, there has been a report in the books of an ice dragon type creature affecting the weather. And that was happening out in the Cannibal Bay, but Maester Margrave said that these were false and just dusted it off. Also, in the constellation of stars that is called the Ice Dragon, the blue eye of this Ice Dragon points to the north. Everything I've ever read dealing with blue eyes and the north in this series eventually leads back to the White Walkers, also who are connected to the Night Fort, where at this particular time Patchface just happens to be, and Mel sees blood and death all around him. Now, I can go into more things a little bit here and there about these dragons, ice dragons, and everything else about them. But when you really look at the ice dragons and everything, it is mentioned constantly, not just by Old Nan, but when John is walking through places, when he's walking through the wall, the first thing he thinks of when he's down there is an ice dragon's belly. It is constantly, when the cold hits, it's referred to ice dragon's breath. They are not bringing these things up, or should I say George is not bringing these things to your attention, because he does not plan on using Ice Dragon. He is saying these references because an Ice Dragon is coming. And there's no doubt about it to me. So, this will be my first video of the new year. Thank you again to all my new subscribers. Subscribing to me, Tony Teflon the Dog, the man who sits the throne as the best looking dude doing this. And that was especially meant for my man Don Wick. Peace, brother. And I want to be on Shooting the Shit with Don Wick, goddammit. Put me on. What the hell are you waiting for? Anyway, besides that, you know what I mean? Thank you to all my new subscribers. And I forgot the person's name, but I did the Q&A, and you said I skipped your question, and you were watching it with your son. That hurts my feelings very much. I'm sorry, and I'm sorry I forgot your name, because I can say it right now. So you tell your son and you that I swear to you the next Q&A, that question is first. And you can ask anything else, and I'll go through them all at that particular time. So just ask away. Thank you for subscribing. Thank you for watching. Please tell your friends about me. Please thumb up it. You know, I need those. Please share it. And let's keep this house rising. But until next time, you know who it is. It's the Don, Tony Teflon, House Teflon, Teflon 316. We pull the strings. Peace. Still, no takers on the pink letter challenge. But peace. And stay sexy.